You want to quit your job and go full-time on your business. In this video, I'll break down how to get you there as quickly as possible without taking so much risk that you end up back exactly where you are in 12 months' time. 10 years ago, I quit my full-time job to build a successful e-commerce business, and I'm going to show you how I've helped hundreds of other small business owners in the exact same position. And we're not talking about getting a viral video or taking up SoundCloud rapping or starting an OnlyFans account. Well, maybe we are. No, there's only really two options that you have to get you from your 9-to-5 job that drains your lifeblood to you building a business that can unlock your entire life. And in this video, I'll cover both options, which are option 1, the big bucks, option 2, the survivor, and the critical final stage, which is how to know when you're ready for either and making sure you're not making a life-destroying mistake. Let's get into it. So option 1, the big bucks. This is the high risk, high reward route. You've got a business idea, you'll validate it, and now it's time to pitch it. Boom, you get some investors to fund your leap. Now I know what you're thinking, that's just for tech bros in Patagonia vests, but actually it's not. If you've got a validated offer, a clear growth model, and the confidence to pitch, then this route can fund your freedom and give you some serious runway. Mythbuster. Investors only care about tech or SaaS. Nope. Plenty of e-com brands raise capital if they've got data and a solid path to profitability. The key to remember here is that investors need 10 or 20 or even 30 times return on investment to make up for all the gambles that they lost on. So just make sure your idea is big. This big bucks path is worth it if you've got a big vision, you're ready to move fast, and you're happy to answer to others because investors will be calling you on a Tuesday night at 9 p.m. asking where all their money is. Now, before you get ahead of yourself, the issue with this option is that investors don't really like to invest in people who need the money. They want to invest in people who will succeed whether they get money or not, so they can hook on to this rocket ship. Oh, speaking of investors, if you want a list of over 55,000 UK-based investors, there's a link in the description. You can even use the filters to find who's most likely to fund your project. And just in case it's not clear, most investors will absolutely expect you to quit your job if they're going to fund you. So the decision at that point isn't so much when should I quit, it's are these people the right people to work with? But what if you don't want the outside pressure and you just want to build a lifestyle business? Well, then option 2 is for you. And the formula that I give to my clients who are going through option 2, that formula is in the last part of this video. And it's the one part that everybody thinks they're ready for until they hear the numbers. Option 2, the survivor. This was me. No investors, no fancy deck, just living sale by sale, making enough to fund the next idea. The survivor route means you bootstrap. You build on nights and weekends, you invest all the profits back into the business instead of taking a salary. And you personally live on less so that the business can eventually get you out of your job forever. You're going to need to set a tight budget, both business and personal, and you need to launch fast. Imperfect and profitable beats perfect and broke every time. And you need to stack the small wins. As long as the numbers are going up, then you're making progress. Mythbuster. You don't need to be poor to bootstrap. You need to be intentional. And survival mode isn't as much of a disadvantage as you might think. Each win you get, you'll know it wasn't because of some fancy expensive marketing campaign, but instead it's because you learnt to serve your customer better than anyone else in the marketplace. But it's not easy. I did this for years after I left university. I watched my friends go and get jobs and go on holidays and then get mortgages. But the trade-off is that I bought my freedom in the end. Hot statistic of the day. Shopify reports that for a solo e-commerce business in its first year, the average amount it revenues per month is £1,800. That means that if you're trying to bootstrap, you need to get profitable fast and consistent by month 6 to 12. Here's a breakdown of what that journey might look like for you. So the first couple of months, You're focusing on product validation and trying to reach break-even margins. And then month 3 to 4, you're going to want to focus on learning your marketing channel and getting good as fast as possible. Hopefully you'll be hitting 500 to £1,000 profit per month at this point. Then when month 5 to 6 is here, you can start reinvesting that initial revenue back into marketing and start scaling to 2, 3, 4, 5,000 revenue per month. Oh, and by the way, don't think that you're alone, because 81% of small business owners actually bootstrap at the start. And then when the customers start to flow and you don't even need investors anymore, that's when they'll come crawling out the woodwork and they'll start throwing money at you to get explosive growth. You can make whatever decision you want at this point. So if raising money from investors isn't for you and bootstrapping sounds like the route you're going to take, how do you know when it's actually time to quit? Quitting too early is just as dangerous as waiting too long. You need to be in a safe position so you don't end up panic texting your old boss at 3 a.m. asking for your job back. So here's what you've been waiting for, the formula that I give to clients when they ask whether they should quit their job. You're ready to quit when your business makes 3 times your personal budget consistently for 3 months. And you've got 3 to 6 months saved. If your rent, bills and personal expenses come to £2,000 per month, you don't quit when your business suddenly gets to a profit of £2,000 per month. You quit when it's bringing in £6,000 per month for a minimum of 90 days. And if you're in the position and thinking, what if my revenue is really inconsistent? Well, great question. I'd say give it at least another 1 to 2 months so that you can systemize your processes. You don't want to jump the moment you have a good month. You want to quit because your business can carry you even on a bad one. So you might be asking, why 3 times? Well, because it gives you room. Room for mistakes, slow months, or a rogue supplier that tries to run a tax evasion scheme through my company. Your company. True story. And the savings part of it, well, financial stress will only motivate for so long. Eventually, it just becomes an unhelpful distraction. You want hunger and not panic. Pro tip, don't make the same mistake I see tons of startup founders making. They quit, then they start fiddling with their business model because they have much more time on their hands and they think that that's what successful founders do. Big mistake. Just double down on what got you here. And if you're wondering what kind of business works best for quitting your job in the next 6 to 12 months, go watch this video on building an e-commerce business from nothing and we'll move you closer to freedom.